Oh, what a feel. How's it going, everybody? Oh, yes. Welcome back to Groovy Thursdays. I'm Nick DiVirgilio. We're at groove number 42, and this week's groove is super cool. The song is I Heard It Through the Grapevine, the Gladys Knight and the Pips version from their record, Everybody Needs Love, and Everybody Needs Love. Don't you agree? Yes. So, great record title and a great song and a great groove. Let's do it. I'm taking a left turn this week with this groove because I've been doing lots of hard rock stuff, some faster things, lots of odd time stuff. You know, I love the prog, I love the rock, of course, but I'm a huge fan of Mowtown, old school R&B and soul music, of course, funk music, because really, for me, everything stems from there. Great groove comes from the folks that recorded these songs. And then it all breaks out into all the heavier music that I love because there's just so much feel in the way they played these songs, you know, and there's so much to learn from it. That's why I love Phil Collins' drumming so much, because he was a big fan of Motown music and soul music, and he gleaned a lot of his feel from this type of music and then put it into his progressive rock and his fusion playing. And that's why it feels so great. Now, this version of the song, to me, is the best one out of all of them. Marvin Gaye's version is awesome, of course. So is Creedence Clearwater Revival's version. They're all great. But nobody touches Gladys Knight and the Pips. I mean, it is so great. She's such a great singer. Their version of this song was recorded back in the day with the Funk Brothers, all the great Motown musicians. The drummers on this version of the tune were Motown mainstays, Uriel Jones and Richard Pistol Allen. Those guys played on all kinds of songs back in the day. If you want to see a killer live version of this tune, check out the movie The Summer of Soul, the movie that Questlove put out last year or so. It's a movie about a festival that was in Harlem, New York. They had about, they had 80,000, 100,000 people in this park in Harlem, and all kinds of amazing musicians and bands played. Gladys Knight and the Pips were one of those bands. And the Pips are dancing. They're so, just awesome the way they danced. Their voices are killer, the background parts on one microphone, and then Gladys Knight is there just doing her thing. The band sounds great. It's a great live version of this tune. Can you tell I really dig this song? It's kind of exciting. Now, what we're concentrating on is just the opening of the song. The song turns into sort of a straight ahead, classic Motown feeling, funky R&B tune. But the 4 bars at the top of the song is what we're concentrating on this week. It's got a taste of Latin in this groove, and there's a little bit of coordination. It sounds real easy. Once you get the coordination down, it's not that hard. But what is hard is playing it for a long period of time. It's just 4 bars at the top of this tune, but see if you can play it for longer than that and see if you can keep the groove going. There's coordination involved because you're going back and forth between your rack tom and your snare drum, but you're playing side stick. So you got to hit the tom and get back to that movement of doing a side stick, right? And that takes some coordination to get a great side stick sound every time, and then hit the rack tom in the center of the drum and then get back to a nice solid side stick sound. I recommend playing with the butt end of your stick so you can get a nice full side stick sound. Even if you miss the sweet spot, it'll still sound a little bit louder and more full if you use the butt end. But it's kind of hard to get back and forth with that. Then you have this sort of semi-cascada pattern in your ride cymbal, and you're playing the ride cymbal not with the shoulder of your stick, but with the tip of your stick right on the bell. So you have to kind of focus on just hitting the bell of your ride cymbal with the tip. So you have that concentration of that, playing that pattern over and over. Then you have the going back and forth between the side stick and the rack tom. I put a kick drum on beat 1 of every bar, just a downbeat, just to ground it. I don't think there's a kick drum in the pattern when you listen to the song. If there is one, it's mixed really low, or he's just playing it really softly. But I put one on beat 1 just to have one there. Where the side sticks lay are not right on 2 and 4. Okay, they're in a different spot. So let's get into this groove, go through the patterns, and then I'll show you a couple different ways that you can embellish this groove as well. Let's go. The groove's in 4/4 at about 110 BPM. They didn't play to a click back in those days, so I clocked it around there. I think it even speeds up a little bit before the verse starts. So just right around there seems to be a comfortable tempo. Let's concentrate first on the ride cymbal pattern. You're going to utilize 8th notes and 16th notes. So we'll talk through it here. The cymbal starts on beat 1, right on the downbeat of 1. Then you have another one on 1 and. Then on beat 2, it's 2 and a 2E, second 16th note, and then the last 16th note, 2E and a. Then you skip the downbeat of beat 3, which is cool. You start on 3E, second 16th note, and then the last 16th note, so 3E and then 3E and a. Then right on beat 4, the downbeat of beat 4 and 4 and. Here's our pulse. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Da 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 da. So when you sing it out just like that with just the pulse and your voice, it's not that hard. So get it going with your voice and clapping if you need to. Also, I'd like to point out where these little doubles are. You know, on beat 1, it's just 1 and. Okay, the downbeat and then the upbeat on and. But then you have a double on 2 and E. Then you kind of skip a couple beats and you have another double on 3E and the downbeat of 4. That's really cool while those are placed. Again, on 2E and then 3E and 4. Let's go through the side stick pattern. It's on 1 and on 3 and. Okay, not 2 and 4, no downbeats here, on upbeats. 1 and 3 and. Then you pepper in your rack tom. The first one is on 2 and then you have a double starting on 4 and then the last 16th note, 4E and a. Check this out. When you clap the pulse and you just sing the side stick and the rack tom, this is what you get. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's pretty neat, isn't it? Everything's on the upbeats. You have that pseudo cascada pattern in your ride cymbal hand with the doubles on 2E and then the other double on the ride cymbal that starts on 3E and then the downbeat of 4. So these doubles are sort of like in weird spots. The side stick is not on 2 and 4, it's on upbeats. The rack tom is on upbeats with the double starting on an upbeat. And you have to go back and forth with your side stick and your rack tom, getting the coordination so you have good, solid sounding hits on the side stick and the rack tom. I'm sorry, but this is one cool pattern. The key to it, though, is once you get the coordination down, is to make it groovy. It has to be groovy, because if not, it sounds like it's kind of falling downstairs a little bit. So you got to make sure you lay back and you try to get that kind of flow going the best you can. Go back and listen to the tune. Just start slowly if you have to. Whatever you got to do to keep it in the pocket is really key to playing a groove like this. If you're going to play this tune like it is on the record with your band and a cover band, just for fun, play along to the track, you play this groove for 3 bars. Then on the 4th bar, you play the first couple beats of the groove and then have a real simple fill getting into the vocal verse. The groove changes there to a more straight ahead, just sort of funky backbeat groove with the snare on 2 and 4. If you want to take this groove up a notch, just to have a little more fun and to challenge yourself, you can definitely do some other things. Let me show you a few of them right now. One thing you can do is just add a simple hi-hat chick with your left foot on the quarter notes, like this. Another way you can do it is you can feather the hi-hat, opening and closing it on the quarter notes, like this. A little more of an advanced way to do this groove and to make it, I guess, a little more Latin is to kind of have a sort of pseudo-songo feel in your kick drum pattern, which means the kick drum is on 1E and then on 2 and then on 3E and 4 and. Everything else stays the same. Again, kick drum's on 1E and last 16th note, and then on 2 and on the upbeat, and then 3E and again, last 16th note of beat 3, and then on 4 and on the upbeat of 4 and. Everything else staying the same, like this. As you can tell, I threw in a couple fills here and there and got back into the groove. It's a lot of fun to play, and it's great coordination between your hands and your feet. And there you go, a really great Latin-inspired groove from the song I Heard It Through the Grapevine by Gladys Knight The Pips, their record, Everybody Needs Love. It's just so much fun to play, and it's classic, just old school Mowtown. So much great drumming can be gleaned from the music of that time. Mowtown, funk and soul, old school R&B music. No matter what style of music you're into, you play with your band, I highly recommend going back and studying at least some of this stuff and just try to soak in some of the feel and groove that these great musicians of that era had. It will add a lot to your playing, I guarantee it. If you like what's going on here at Groovy Thursdays, I ask that you like this video, share it with all your friends, subscribe to the channel, bring on comments and suggestions for future grooves. We're going to be at groove number 43 next week. Come on back and join me. We'll see you then. Cheers.